Welcome to Daddy vs. Doctor. Here are your hosts, pediatrician Dr. Scott Cohen and comedian Sebastian Maniscalco.
We are live on YouTube for the first time ever. Daddy vs. Doctor, something that we just did an Amazon live.
Yeah, check it out. Everything you need to know when you're having a baby. So like the Daddy vs. Doctor version of a baby registry.
Yeah, so we figured, hey, we're scheduled to do a Daddy vs. Doctor. Why not go up on YouTube Live, since this is a live type of day. Now, I'm looking at the stats here, and is that 33? Is that the number of people we got in? I just want to know before we really get cooking.
33 is a good number. Larry Bird's number.
Larry
Celtics
Bird.
Fan. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry for the Celtics out there. I don't know if you saw the
I know,
game. I was
actually
so
upset.
I was going to invite you over to watch the game, but I felt, you know what? Maybe he's got his own thing he does when he watches the Celtics. But
he says, I'm originally from Boston. I'm a big Boston fan.
Yeah. I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan. So this is not a sports show, but this is, for those of you just tuning in, Daddy vs. Doctor is a show where Dr. Scott Cohen is our family's pediatrician. This started because basically Dr. Cohen had this idea, and it also kind of parlayed into our relationship where I would constantly call you when it was something to do with the kids, whether it be a rash, a cough, what have you. And we just felt like there's a lot of these questions that parents have. And when you're going through an illness with your child, you feel like you're the only one on earth that's doing this. But
everybody's going through the same thing.
Yeah. And this podcast kind of sheds some light on pediatrics. And, you know, we have a humorous spin on it.
With a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Sebastian's funny. So we should all laugh at being a parent.
Yeah. So I want to get into, and we'll take your questions. We see your questions as they're rolling up here.
Oh, we got questions.
But although that's pretty hard to see, could you just give me that question? My son only naps when my wife wears him. Any tips? So, is there anything to do or anything to be said about environment and where the kid sleeps? Yeah. My son, who's 3, going on 4,
right,
gets in the car and automatically
boom,
gone.
Yeah.
Is there any scientific data in regards to environment when it comes to sleeping?
No, I mean, definitely babies, there's certain places babies feel more comfortable. Look, on our Amazon Live, you just tried a Baby Bjorn on. You know, these products sell because babies feel very comfortable and they often fall asleep. I think when it comes to infant sleep and child sleep, though, it is important. Routine and repetition is important. So even though they may fall asleep in a stroller, in the car, and holding them, at least bedtime, you want to get that bedtime routine where you want them to be so that they get used to that and then hopefully sleep in that place through the night eventually. Same thing eventually with nap time after the first 4 months of age to get into that routine. But look, we've talked about this. Parenting is survival.
Yeah.
And you know what? I remember taking those walks just so I knew my daughter was going to fall asleep, and it gave 2 hours of quiet time.
Yeah.
I think we all do that. We take the car ride, we take the stroller walk, we go to the mall. So that's okay too.
And we just had this discussion downstairs in between shows. My daughter was on her way to gymnastics and fell asleep in the car.
And then the fight started. All right. So explain what happened, and let's take a vote out there. Would they follow Mama Lana or Daddy Sebastian?
So my theory is if you sign up for the activity, you got to go to the activity. Sometimes kids will be rebellious and say, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I don't want to go to piano, I don't want to go to gymnastics. I say you force them to go, right? There was a decision. Actually, my mother-in-law made this decision. And they might be watching this downstairs. We might actually get Lana and my mother-in-law come running in this room right now to defend themselves. But mother-in-law made an executive decision. She's sleeping in the car. She's tired. She had just gotten over a cold or a little virus. Why push the issue? Now, this is where I run into the two different Sebastians. The Sebastian that how I grew up, and the Sebastian who's a father now and having to co-parent and kind of having a balance there.
Right.
What's your take? And I'm not asking you to be a referee here.
Right.
But what's your take on commitment? And she's only 6.
I know.
My take is, if the child is allowed to say, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I don't want to go, you're setting a precedent for future failure.
Right. I agree. I think if the child is using it as an excuse, then no, you have an obligation. You signed up for something. You should do it. In this case, I don't think she was using an excuse. She fell asleep. She's been sick the last couple of days.
Yeah.
She's 6 years old. She can be on a Wheaties box a different day.
Okay. All right. I just, sometimes I need to be put in my own place. All right. And thank you for
there's a lot of different right ways.
Once again, with my wife.
Toy time.
Toy time. Okay, so what we do on the show, if you're new to Daddy versus Doctor, we look at some games that the kids play and recommend if we like them or not. This right away, I got to tell you, what do you mean? What about your kids like chocolate milk? I'm sorry.
No chocolate milk for you?
No,
we don't have it in our house either.
Yeah, I never had it growing up either.
My girls don't eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches either. And I feel like we lived off those.
I lived on those.
I know.
I lived on those. Okay.
What is this?
This game is called Social Skills. I think we actually have this game in our house. Is this
yours?
Okay. I think I might have played this game. Oh, I have played this game before.
Okay.
And it's fun-ish, I guess.
Yeah. How do you play?
Well,
is there a die?
It's another thing about games. Let me tell you. When I see a game and I pull it out, I don't read the instructions. I look at it and go, what's the easiest way to play this without reading anything?
Right.
So this says, you see 2 kids fighting at lunchtime.
Okay.
What would you do? So it's putting your kids in scenarios that if it does happen, you go, okay, what would you do if you see 2 kids fighting at lunchtime? Now, what would you do if you saw 2 kids fighting in your office in the waiting area?
Oh, no, we would go. We break that up.
You'd break that up.
We break that up.
Okay.
See, but this is hard because I know what I should do, but if I were a kid, the answer is different, right? I know I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z, but as a kid, I don't know that I would have done anything.
Well, here's a parenting question. Someone pushes in front of you, like so somebody pushes you, right? Now,
like physically touches you and pushes you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the father in me wants to say to my child, if we were playing that game, you get them in a bare naked choke, right? Right. I'm kidding. But there's a couple ways to deal with some of these scenarios, right? I mean, I want to get my kid, my son, in jujitsu.
Yeah, I want them to learn. If they needed to, they could defend.
I didn't have any training growing up.
Obviously.
Boxing, jiu-jitsu, karate. None of
how
it,
you said that was impressive.
Well, that's a 4.5-year education.
I think it's better knowing you can do it and not do it. That's the best part. I can't do it, so it doesn't even help me.
Yeah, so for me, if I ever got into an altercation, I would be literally going on pure adrenaline.
I'd be decimated.
Yeah.
I would run really quickly.
No, I mean, I know guys there's certain guys that have an innate ability to just fight and react. Right.
Yeah.
I never had that.
No.
I was always defensive.
But I mean, how amazing would that be if you knew that you could just beat anybody in a altercation and then you didn't have to use it because you're just like, I'm going to be good.
Yeah.
It's like flipping on a wall.
I want to see Sebastian dance. You know what? I'm glad this is really hitting home with the viewers. We're going into full-blown medical pediatric. This guy's got 10, 12 years of schooling, and you want to see me dance.
I'd like to see you dance.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Once my kid tried to run out of the house, and I met him with 2 wooden spoons. He backed up, slipping on his socks. Now, here's the thing, too,
Yeah.
Nowadays, back then, a slap to the mouth or whatever wasn't really looked at as abuse. It was, boom, and all right, we're not doing that anymore. I'm not saying I got beat, but there was a little physical contact every once in a while. Now I feel if you did anything,
no corporal punishment.
I know you have a business. No corporal punishment. I was just talking about, being a little firm. Yeah, the kid goes to the school and might say, "Oh, my daddy,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're getting called into the office just because you're trying to discipline your kid. I volunteer to be a moderator. Also, you guys need a couple.
What's a couple?
A couple of what?
A couple of what? I knew you were going to say that.
Maybe we need, I don't know. Be a little bit more descriptive in your comments.
It'd be awesome if you learned the breakdance routine, a simple one.
That's it. Breakdancing.
What happened here?
Hey, I got a 14-year-old huge fan. I'm from Streamwood. I know where that is. I truly would like to say that you're not giving a shit attitude and old school style is so refreshing. You know what, 14? I'm glad that you appreciate it, and it's at such a young age. That's a demographic that I've been trying to hit. Go see the movie about my father.
That's right.
PG-13, so you're available to go.
14, that's right. He can do it.
So anyway,
this just came up. Speaking of movies, so my daughter and her friends, we were at a soccer tournament. We're always at soccer tournaments. We had 8 hours between a game. The girls wanted to go see a movie. They want to see a horror movie. It was rated R. So our movies, you have to have somebody who's over 17, not only buy the ticket, but go in there with you and sit with them. Which I bought the ticket, and the guy's like, "Are you going to go in there?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'm going to go in there." No, but what I don't understand is I get the ratings when we were kids, G and PG and PG-13 and R, but I feel like it needs to change because kids are exposed to so much more now earlier. Yeah. The internet, they're seeing more on the internet than they're seeing in an R movie.
Yeah.
So I think fine, if you want to make an adult buy the ticket for them, then I'm giving my permission, but to have them also sitting there the whole time with them seemed a little ridiculous to me.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. I don't know what's going on with these ratings. I mean, you might as well throw them out the window because all of a sudden you go to a movie and you have to have a parent buy the ticket and sit with you, but you could go home
on Netflix and watch anything.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Or forget
14. What are you watching?
That's right.
That your parents don't know about. I'm a moderator on a different channel. What are you looking for a job, bro? Sal muscles. I think we're good.
What do you think of the old time solution of just rubbing dirt on a wound to fix it?
Is that one of the comments? Well, we're really hitting a wide swath of people here.
Yeah.
What do you think about rubbing dirt on a wound?
Yeah. What do you think about amputation?
I didn't know we were living in the 1900s. Lost the feed. Well, we have an excellent connection here. You might want to check your internet provider because we're working on a copper wire that's directly connected to Google.
Wait, there was a question about obviously a longtime viewer because they asked about baby snacks. They said, what was your favorite snack growing up?
My favorite, this is another thing for you parents out there, snacks.
Yeah.
Right? Which I feel it has gotten completely out of hand.
Yeah. You have breakfast, you get in the car, 20 minutes later, you're bringing a whole snack box.
And we've talked about this on the podcast before. Hospitals, schools provide food that is shockingly unhealthy.
Yes.
My favorite snack growing up,
right?
I have to go, depending on the age, but I just remember Cheetos. were huge.
I wouldn't have guessed that with you.
Why would you like?
I liked fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll-ups, another classic.
I used to go to a friend's house with fruit roll-ups, and because we were only allowed to have one, we would savor it. So it's like who held on to it longer, because then the other person was like jealous that they were done with theirs.
You bring up a good point. There's no more like you get one or you get this quantity.
Right.
Now it seems such an abundance, at least in my house. It's like, hey, you want a granola bar? Instead of cracking off maybe a nibble,
right,
you give the whole thing.
Well, I was just in your pantry. What did I just knock off in the last 5 minutes? Corn nuts, a banana, mango slices, and
you have no shame.
No
shame.
I have a problem when there are snacks in front of me. I do.
So we got an Uncle 60 said mom never bought snacks.
Salami and cheese
fruit
with
roll-ups, easy, all gone. I used to steal the Pop-Tart. It's forbidden. My mom did not provide snacks. Snacks had to be stolen.
Yeah.
Good for you, Ava.
Remember when the Pop-Tarts came out with the frosting on the top with the sprinkles? I mean, they went next level on those things.
Yeah, I wasn't so much into to Pop-Tarts, but
Funyuns. You remember Funyuns?
Funyuns.
That's a blast from the past.
Beautiful snack. I'll take it a step further on the snack. And this hot fries. I don't know if anybody had hot fries or cheddar fries. I used to eat them on the side of my mouth, just like a little wood shredder, right down the side.
Wait, toaster strudels. I mean, this is bringing us back.
I don't think I've ever
You didn't have
those.
that? Yeah.
Yeah,
those
no
were
toaster
good.
strudels. Andy Caps. Wasn't that the fries? Yeah, I think that was the fries.
I don't know that
What
one.
your Sebastian take on if Serafina was favoriting one or the other? What would he do? Favoriting what? A parent?
Yeah, I think that's what you wanted to talk about. That's funny that they brought that up.
Well, it's not the fact that it's a favorite. I just noticed that my son behaves a lot differently when he's with me one-on-one than he does with Lana. And I was asking you before we went live here, do you think that it's just nature that the son is more intimidated sometimes by the father and just gets more love from the mother? What's your
because I think it depends on the behavior. Like, what behavior does he have with you versus with Lana?
I run a little bit of a tighter ship. I'm
right.
not saying that I'm not lenient and I don't fall off the boat. I'm just saying I'm a little bit more consistent with my disciplinary skill sets than... I mean, this is amazing how I'm putting stuff.
I'm right.
This is like,
she's wrong.
It's almost like you're listening to AI come out of a human being. But not that it's so much of a favoritism. And I'm not looking for my friends or my kids to be my best friend. I think a lot of parents nowadays want their kids to like them and do everything they possibly can not to disrupt the boat. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, setting some boundaries, setting some disciplinary, some structure into the kid, actually it makes the kid respect you more than if he's allowed to walk all over you.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked about the nurture nature debate, and I always sort of joke, after you have two kids, I don't even know why it's a debate. I mean, the kids come out a certain way. You don't parent differently enough that one child is one way and the next is the exact opposite. I think there's a huge percentage of just nature. But when it comes to behavior around parents and other people, I think actually that's a lot of nurture, because they can read parents very well. And I agree with you. If they know who's more the disciplinarian, they're more likely to mind their P's and Q's. If they know they can walk all over you, then they're going to be asking for more and more and pushing those buttons. I think, kids are very smart and they can pick that up very, very quickly. No, and, my wife is more you, and I'm get walked all over.
There you have it. Just to go back to the board here, we don't want to leave you guys hanging here, just kind of skimming. My parents off the boat from Argentina, no such thing as snack. It's amazing how many people don't do the snacks.
I know.
And I'm with you guys. I listen, if I could, I told my wife, I go, let's clear the pantry. I'm like, what are Italian kids in Tuscany eating?
They're
for
going
a
out to the
snack?
garden, right?
Yeah. Is it vegetables? Is it fruits?
Charcuterie board.
A charcuterie board? Some salami? What the hell is it? Frank fries.
What are those?
I don't know. I that might be the brand.
What's Uncle Frank Italian fry? We have to look that
cheese.
up. I don't know.
Fran
that.
says cheese. What do you think of cheese as a snack?
Yeah, it's a good source of protein. I think anything in moderation is the key.
Yeah, but this bad, like the corn nuts you were eating.
No, they're horrible. I mean everything I eat is I'm not a good example of this at all.
Thank you, Derek Shapiro, for seeing the movie. Just want to comment there. I appreciate you going to see the movie. Another one, the ticket guy accidentally gave me Little Mermaid tickets after a set. I like to see this.
But we should mention, obviously, everybody knows Sebastian had a big movie out this weekend about my father, so everybody should check it out. It's hilarious.
Thank you. Appreciate you plugging it to the 217 concurrent viewers. People, we don't just get viewers here, we get concurrent viewers.
Yeah, but look how many comments we're getting.
No, it's flooded with it.
No,
218.
Oh, the string cheese. I used to use string cheese.
String cheese was big.
Another thing you could savor, because I don't know what it was about savoring. Nobody savors anything anymore.
No, string cheese, we have it. My daughter eats it like it's like
a carrot stick, right? Like boom,
it's like she
chopped.
I go, you gotta strip the
Whoppers.
What is it?
Whoppers.
The what? The
Whoppers. I never liked Whoppers.
Is that a chocolate? That was a chocolate.
The chocolate like malt
yeah,
balls.
Whoppers,
Yeah, I never liked them.
Was not a big fan of that.
When the ice cream man used to come, did ice cream man come to your community?
Yeah.
What did you get?
My favorite was the Bomb Pop.
Oh, was that with the bubble gum in the bottom?
No, that was it was a snow cone with a bubble gum on the bottom. Bomb Pop, I think, was chocolate and vanilla. But the one you might be thinking about was like
the push-up pop.
No, there was one that was red, white, and blue. That I used to literally shove it down my throat and just take the shavings off the thing. God, was that good? So but anyway, we to get off the comments. Believe me, keep chatting because
rocket popsicle.
Yeah, the rocket was good too. That was one of my favorites. By the way, 227 on the concurrent viewers. We've upped it by 10, and by the end of this, we should be at 231. So let me ask you: are you seeing a lot of COVID in the office, and are there new diseases coming? I had a cough last week, right? That I'm not a cougher. I'm not that guy. I normally get like a stuffed up nose. I had a cough last week where I'm like, this is it. Here we go. Another pandemic. Are there new viruses popping up? I see it on Yahoo every once in a while.
No, it's the same ones we always have. It goes around in circles. So, I mean, it's so weird now. We've been talking about this in the office a lot. There seems to be no seasonality to illness anymore. Used to be, we're almost June. It's summertime. People usually aren't sick. You're doing healthy well physicals for camp. We're seeing just as much illness now as I was seeing in September, October. It's just changed, right? It was COVID. COVID numbers dropped. Flu season hit early. Flu season decreased. Now we're seeing a lot of strep throat, pink eye, conjunctivitis, stomach bugs, vomiting, diarrhea, and then a myriad of like a ton of other just colds. And when we check them, not that it changes what you do, but it's coming back adenovirus, metapneumovirus, rhinoenterovirus. So these are viruses that we've always had. These are the viruses of the common cold. It's just that nobody was sick. I mean, it was the perfect triad, right? Nobody was sick for 2.5 years. So everybody's immune system was sort of down.
Yeah.
COVID numbers dropped. Thankfully, masks came off in a good way. So everybody was susceptible. And where in normal years, one person gets sick and everybody else is good, since everybody was susceptible, these households, one person's sick, then the mom and the dad, and then the kid, and then it just kept going in circles. And the coughing congestion's lasting like 3 to 4 weeks at a time, goes away for a day and comes back. It's crazy.
You bring up a good point, because like Serafina will cough, and the cough lasts for 3 weeks, and you don't even know. It's like, is this another virus?
Right,
you know, like was there like 12 hours that she was cough free, and now we're starting back up again?
Right. No, I mean, it's probably the same thing. And one is the virus itself. Two is the inflammation the virus caused in your lungs that just causes recurrent cough. But we talk about this, like when do you come in with a child? Because literally there have been kids who since September, it seems, they've had symptoms. So typical illnesses, viral illnesses, start off very similar. You get fever for 3 to 5 days, cough and congestion. Fever breaks. That's actually your first sign things are getting better. And then the cough and congestion linger for weeks on after that.
Mm-hmm.
When you've had symptoms and then you get new fever, you got to think, what new thing happened to cause the fever? Did it turn into an ear infection? Did it turn into pneumonia? That's when you think something new. Could be a new virus, but that's when you want to get your child checked out. Or if the fever is going more than 3 to 5 days, or they obviously seem labored with their coughing. But the coughing and congestion, if they're in good spirits and not having fever, it's hard because there's really not much to do with it, but it's the most common complaint in pediatrics.
Yeah. I mean, listen, growing up, and maybe I was just completely ignorant to it. I just remember like, oh, you got a cold once a year.
Right.
And it was generally in January. Mm-hmm. I mean, you said like we're creeping into June, and I'm at I'm at a restaurant. I turn around, and the kid's coughing, and it sounds like he's a 90-year-old man.
Right.
Like what is that kid got? Like what's going on, bro? I mean, I don't know. Like people, I'm sure are chime in if you'd like to. Is there anybody else that's
germ factories? So this is what about a toddler 2.5 hitting or trying to pull arms of a newborn? Oh, that's a different topic. I have one question about the cough though before we get on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you cough in bed, is Alana me like out?
Well, you bring up a great topic. We just went through this a week and a half ago. I had the cough. It was a dry cough. Yeah. There was nothing coming up, but there was a lot of
the clearing.
Yeah, and I got at 11:30 at night. Are you going to be doing that all night? Right. There was no, let me get you some honey. Let me get you some tea. There was, are you going to be doing that all night? And I didn't even respond. Mm-hmm. I basically got up and I went to go sleep in the other bedroom. And I did that for 4 nights in a row, just because I know how it is if if your wife's coughing and whatnot. It's hard to sleep, right?
I feel like you should get some leeway though. Like if I get to bed, I haven't coughed at all day. I don't have any obvious symptoms. And I get into bed and I cough one time, just like, go sleep downstairs.
Well, yeah.
Like, not even.
That's a little aggressive.
It's aggressive. It's very aggressive.
I was coughing all day.
Now I know I just got to sleep.
And I brought it into the bed. Any way to turn the volume up on the cast side? What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a red line.
He's got a red line, people. I mean, you get up to the red line, you're gonna blow the speakers off your.
This is really dynamic as you get closer.
Dynamic microphoning.
Hello, that's that's tech
I
talk.
like it.
For picks up a lot.
I can't see the questions.
Yeah. Can we see the questions?
Let's see. What do we got here? We got.
Wait, is that old Jewish man channel or what? Why are we talking about illness? Well, if you haven't looked at the sign behind us, it says Daddy versus Doctor. What do you want us to talk about?
Wait, why is LeBron
vacation spots?
Why did LeBron James say how you doing? Go back up, above Uncle 60. LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Is that really LeBron James?
You think LeBron James is one of the 225 congruent viewers? Please.
It's his picture.
No. Well, why? Do you believe everything you see on the
Yes.
internet? Oh, my God. No, I believe that's not LeBron James. But thank you, LeBron, for tuning in.
Snack time.
Oh, snack time.
Oh, this is my favorite.
Well, hold on.
What are those? Oh, I like this.
No. It's not snack time. It's called, this portion is called Daddy.
Snack?
All right. Shelly Senbai rice crackers. This is
a kid snack?
A Chinese product, I believe. Where'd you get this at? Sometimes we don't know where this comes from. But we'll try it.
We're gonna try it.
All right.
I do like. You like rice crackers?
I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't like the breakage already. This stuff. It's all cracked. It's all cracked. Look at this. Look at every cookie is cracked right now. This guy will eat anything, by the way. Doesn't even smell it. Nothing. Just right down the gullet.
Oh, it's got like a powdered sugar on it.
Is it any good?
No. Yeah. I don't think anybody's eating these on purpose. I would eat it.
By the way, can't even get into the cracker. Okay, here we go.
I like it. I eat it.
Awful. I got a 0 out of 5. You're eating it like it's filet. Where's my wife? She's downstairs. Hopefully not buying Chinese crackers. Wow. That's terrible, bro. You're making a freaking mess. Come on, man. Put it away.
All right.
This guy.
It wasn't bad.
Get the guy some dinner. Malnourished. Yeah. Doc is shoveling it down. Poor guy doesn't get any food at home.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, we're not into that snack. Wow, was that awful. Let's do some questions.
All right. Papa quiz.
So this is a segment. We're doing a lot of segments that we generally do on the show just to kind of give you a flavor of the show if you don't know what it's about. I asked the doc questions regarding the medical field, and then he asked me questions you would ask your average dummy. All right, here it is. This I even know.
Okay. That's a lot of pressure then.
Yeah, this is a very easy question. I'm sure you guys know it.
Okay.
What is the largest organ in the human body?
The skin.
Okay. How should a nurse measure the length of a 14-month-old?
So laying down. So you've seen this when they come in the office. We lay them down on the paper, make a mark at the head, at the feet, use that measurement. Starting at 2.5, we start measuring them standing up. They move to an adult curve. So often you see height from 2 years old to 2.5, the percentile decreases a little because we're compressing them rather than stretching them on the paper. And then 2.5 on, you're on the adult curve and you're doing standing. Was that the question?
It's a supine recumbent position.
Yeah, so laying down on their back.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that was.
I got a good one for you.
Go ahead.
I didn't know this. What stand-up comedian was the first guest host on Saturday Night Live?
Well, I should know this.
I know.
And I'm going to go with Steve Martin.
George Carlin.
Gee, damn it.
You knew that? That's a
Should
good
know
one.
That was a good question.
I like that question.
What part of the brain is responsible for processing visual information?
The occipital cortex.
That's right.
Is that right?
It says occipital
So
lobe.
the back.
I like cortex.
That's
better.
it's just the back. The back of the brain is the visual center of the brain.
What do you got?
Oh, wow. We'll keep in the stand-up category. What stand-up comedian started their career after being released from federal prison for selling cocaine?
Started their career?
Yeah, started their career after being released from federal prison for selling cocaine. I would never have guessed this.
I mean, I'm just gonna say Lenny Bruce because I know he went to jail, but I don't. Think
Tim
that's right.
Allen? Is that right?
No, Tim Allen. Gigi got it. Tim
Wow.
Allen. Oh, I'm 0 for 2. Tim Allen. A lot of people know this.
Everybody-
Joey Diaz.
Oh, Pryor. Pryor.
That's a good guess. What is the most common congenital heart defect in newborns?
VSD, ventricular septal defect. Is that right?
It's right.
Oh.
And I got to tell you, and Dr. Cohen and I often have this conversation about education and retention. I asked him, like, it just came off the top of his head. And he's like, where'd you learn that? And he would say, I learned it in college. Do you guys remember anything you learned
in
college? Just let us know in the comments, because I don't know anything. I literally don't know any facts. Go ahead.
All right, who is the only comedian to have ever done commentary on Monday Night Football?
That would be Dennis Miller.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. That's good.
Okay. What pre-op NSG, is that right? NSG? NSG intervention should be included in the POL for an infant with pyloric stenosis? Did you even understand the question?
I mean, I know what pyloric stenosis is. I didn't quite catch the question. I just had a case of this actually last week.
What pre-op NSG is it intervention?
Yeah, but NSG
should be included in the what's the PO? What's the PO?
I mean, PO is oral. I don't know what I don't know what they're getting out there.
Observe for projectile vomiting.
Yeah. So pyloric stenosis, and it's crazy because I literally just had a case of this last week. So pyloric stenosis is when the pylorus is the muscle at the exit of the stomach. If it's really tight, your stomach doesn't empty. So whenever you feed as a baby, imagine it builds up under pressure, and you don't just spit up, you projectile like Exorcist. Psh. It's typically around 6 weeks of age in firstborn males. That's more common. So this child came in last week, 7-week-old boy. It was their second child with 2-day history of projectile vomiting. Never really was a big spitter, but now we're talking after every single feeding. Psh. So you do an ultrasound and they measure the pylorus, which is that muscle at the exit of the stomach. They measure the length and width, and based on dimensions, they can tell if it's too tight. And in this case, it was. So they get admitted and they get IV fluids because you're not going to hold anything down because you're literally going to projectile vomit everything. And then they do laparoscope. They go in a little incision. They literally just cut the muscle so it just opens up so everything can exit the stomach normally. And you go home. It's that easy. They go home the next day.
That's what I'm saying.
Pyloric stenosis.
How many years of school?
4 college, 4 med, 3 pediatric, 20 years in practice. So a couple years.
I mean, that's
couple
what
years.
you call intelligent.
But everybody knows that one. Pediatricians know that one.
Fran said, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Fran, are you as dumb as I am?
What is the difference between sparkling wine and champagne?
You know what? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This was explained to me last week.
And it's gone. It's totally gone.
I swear to God. Somebody explained this to me, and now I cannot regurgitate the information. It's happening more and more, and I don't know if there's some type of some dementia happening, or is it first sign of Alzheimer's that literally, but I'm going to try to answer this. All right. So
it's easier than you think.
Sparkling what?
There's a sparkling wine and a champagne.
Okay. So champagne is from the region of France, right?
Done. That's the answer.
It? All right. I thought there was more of like a chemistry involved in it, but I guess not.
All right. Go ahead. I got another.
What's the approximate time that a blastocyst, is that right?
Blastocyst
spends traveling to the uterus for
implantation?
That's it.
So a blastocyst.
Oh shit.
I don't. I mean, so you know what blastocyst is? So when the sperm and egg come together, right? They start forming cells. The cells multiply, and the initial cell is the blastocyst, and then that implants into the uterus. How long does it take to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A couple days.
7. I just feel even your guesses. Like when I was in school and I was on a test, I felt like my guesses were so.
You either knew it or you knew nothing.
It was like I knew it. Even the guess was wrong. I feel like your guesses are accurate.
No.
What else you got over
Who
there?
holds the record for the longest running solo comedy show in Las Vegas?
Solo comedy show in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Did you know this?
No.
Do you know the name?
I know who it is after I read it, the answer. But
I'm gonna go to the Carrot Top.
Rita Rudner.
I just took Gigi's Carrot Top.
G was right.
See, hey, Gonzalez said Carrot Top too. Ted Gallagher, yeah, these are good guesses.
That's good. I like that one.
What percentage of babies are born with a blue-green tint to their skin? Blue-green tint. You ever hear that? Like a Smurf vibe.
I mean,
whoa! Did we stump the doc?
how many?
Blue-green. Have you never seen it? Based on the percentage here?
I mean, the whole body, or like acral cyanosis, which is just the arms and the legs. That's very common because of immature circulation. If it's just initial a little blue-green, they all come out a little blue-green, and then they breathe, and then they oxygenate.
So what would you say blue-green on a percentage?
How blue-green are we talking? That sounds bad, but it's not mild.
You've seen a blue baby and go, holy shit.
No, it shouldn't stay blue.
50%.
What's the time? What's the timeline there?
Half of the kids you're seeing
I don't see blue babies. They shouldn't be blue. I don't know. They definitely should not be.
Oh, man.
They should not be blue. Do you know how many brothers there are? Marx brothers?
2.
Not even close. Yep. 5.
Name
for all you out there, name the Marx brothers. For you 239 concurrent viewers, name the Marx brothers. Go.
Oh, wow. L. King had it. 5. You know who I thought the Marx brother was? Right when you asked me the question?
Russians?
No.
The Marxist brothers?
No. I thought the Marx brothers were the guys who did the airplane.
The Wright brothers.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Where the Wright brothers flew the plane? Do you know that answer?
Do I know where they did?
Yeah.
Was it in California?
No. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The dunes, off the dunes there.
Right.
Because growing up back east, we used to vacation in the dunes of Carolina.
Well, I didn't do that.
Kitty Hawk, North Carolina.
Questions.
Oh, wait, here, look. Groucho, Chico, Harpo, Gummo, and Zeppo.
Yeah.
Chico, Harpo, Groucho, Gummo, and Zeppo. Yeah, they got it.
Yeah,
Sal Muscles. Sal Muscles would know who the Marx brothers are. What are we doing? Toy time. Toy time. Ooh, what are these?
These, I believe, are
Wow.
what are these?
Miniverse?
Yeah,
No,
but
they
are
look
these
like LOLs.
LOL
Are
dolls?
they?
Yeah, well, something like it. I'm not going to open this. You could.
I want to open it. It said food, and I'm hungry. No. Oh.
These.
What are
we
these?
Talked about these before. They're small.
Right.
And with these small toys, sometimes it could be a hazard for younger
Got
kids.
it.
Right?
Oh, thank God for that arrow, by the way. Otherwise, no chance of me opening this.
It's really difficult to even get into these toys. I don't know if you guys have been opening toys at home, but let's say you get something and it's got these almost like handcuffs, these wire handcuffs attached to the back of the cardboard. And I've often said, like, who the hell is that for theft, shipping? Why is the toy stapled to the box?
I mean, this is like one of those. What are those Russian dolls? You take it out and there's another one and another one. There's a wrapper and a wrapper and a wrapper. Wow,
that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot going on.
That's a lot going on.
And a toy.
So this is
see this thing comes
is that
out,
a table?
I put it away and go, kids, we ain't playing with this.
It's a table. I can't open that.
Again, a lot of stuff to open. A lot of this. Anything I gotta read. See, it says read me first. Return it.
So many bags. No, I'm sure it's a table.
Yeah,
maybe you have a whole patio set here.
Yeah, you could figure it out.
You just redid your backyard. Maybe you could use this.
What
is that? Is that poison?
It says, oh no, it's spread. It's like a peanut butter. So it's like, it's bread.
Is this really edible?
Shopping. It's really edible.
Is that LeBron James?
That's it. This toy, I give it a 1 out of 5 just solely on getting into the items.
I don't even know. And not only you're spending a lot of time getting in, I don't even know what I'm getting.
Look at the waste here. For those of you that are environmentally friendly,
look at this.
The waste coming out of mini.
Look, you get forceps with it. I don't even know what we got.
Listen, this could be good for mechanical. Was it mechanical skills? What do they call it? Motor skills? I don't know. Listen, it's late in the day, people. 229 on concrete.
We're holding. We're holding.
What is it? This is what it is. I don't know if you could see it. It's little. It's mini stuff. Mini bread. Mini stuff. Peanut butter.
Oh, it says on there, "Do not eat it." By the way,
do not eat.
Do not eat it. Let's do a mailbag.
Mailbag is.
Explain what a mailbag is.
Mailbag. What this is we get questions similar to what you guys are doing, not necessarily about can you dance or what have you. These are questions that people mail into us asking the doctor about either a behavioral issue, a medical issue. So what do we got in the mailbag today? We're going to jump right into the bag.
All right, we got, hey guys, I have a 4-month-old twins, boy and girl. My boy Leonardo needs a helmet. What's your take on these things? Do they work? Would love to hear from you guys. Love the show. All the best, Justin and Viviana.
Okay, so the helmet, I've seen the helmet. Mm-hmm. Again, growing up, no one had a helmet on.
Nope.
And now there's helmets. What happened between when I was a kid and now, and why do we need helmets?
Sleep position. So we all slept on our stomachs.
Growing up, so our heads were round. Okay.
And then in the 90s, we learned that a major factor in SIDS or sudden infant death syndrome was sleeping on your back. Sleeping on your stomach.
Yeah.
So we put all babies to sleep on their back, and it decreased incidence to like almost 80%. And when you sleep on your back, the weight of your head flattens the back of your head. So then we started getting flat heads called positional plagiocephaly. So position, because of the position you're in, plagiocephaly, the flattening. And then people started wearing helmets because it's pressure points to make your head round.
So do you wear the helmet while sleeping?
You wear like 23 hours a day.
Oh, you wear it.
Yeah. And usually, I mean, the worst your head shape's ever going to get is the first 4 months, right? Because the first 4 months you're flat on your back. You're usually in one position. And then around 4 months, you start rolling into other positions. So that helps even things out. So it's between 4 to 6 months. If you see the baby's head is really like, boom, flat, they'll start wearing a helmet.
Okay. Let's say.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the pediatrician doesn't catch this, or let's say it goes unattended, no helmet.
Yeah.
And the kid's now 9.
Yeah.
And he has a flat head.
Right.
Can that be reversed?
No. I mean, as you approach a year, so your anterior fontanelle, the fontanelle that allows the head to expand and grow, starts closing between 9 and 18 months. Okay. So you're not going to get good shaping as you get closer to a year. But to your point, cosmetically, they may have a little bit of a flat head. Just the natural growth of your head, you're going to notice the flattening less and less. And it really is cosmetic. It's not going to affect brain. It's not going to affect learning. Girls, you tend not to wear it all. Girls tend to have longer hair. You wouldn't even notice it unless they got out of the shower and it was really flat. We tend to have shorter hair. You may notice a little more, but it tends not to be a big deal. What tends to be more noticeable is if they have what's called torticollis, which the neck is stiff in one direction. So a baby who's not only laying on their back, but is always looking one way, they'll flatten out one side. And then it's all about pressure points. So if you flatten this side, right, then you're pushing one ear forward and then it looks uneven. And that's more obvious.
And that's called what?
Torticollis is the stiffening of the neck.
Is that from the root word from a tortoise? Because the tortoise tends to.
That's phenomenal. I don't think so, but I like where your brain's at.
Our neighbor's kid has a special helmet at a young age to straighten out the flat head thing. I think she was about 1. Mm-hmm. All right. I was very young as a baby.
I like 66. I'm calling my mother after this. She messed up my head.
Holding strong. Tortoise. It's a Latin. What is that? Etymology.
Yeah, etymology. The roots of words.
Yeah.
Etymology. Gonna put dirty chicken on the grill. We're going crazy. So that's mailbag, everybody.
All right, that's the mailbag. That's our show for today. Listen, guys. Daddy versus Doctor, tune in. All right, 232 strong here.
We stayed at that level.
Yeah,
I mean, no drop off at all.
The audience retention here has been just unbelievable. I mean, this is. I don't even think Ted Lasso's getting this type of attention.
No.
On
That's why they're ending the show.
Apple Plus.
That's right.
Check us out every Friday, Daddy versus Doctor. Go to daddyversusdoctor.com if you have any questions, concerns. The doctor's here. I'm here.
Daddy's here.
And we're daddies.
The opinions expressed in this program are not intended as professional medical advice, as a diagnosis, as a treatment protocol, or as a substitute for professional medical advice from your physician. Please consider your own medical history and consult with your own physician for your specific healthcare and/or medical needs and about your concerns for yourself and your family.